It was like, well, we're gonna have to move out. And I said, oh, says who? It's like, check your email.
Students at the University of Tennessee got an email telling them that they'll have to move out of Laurel Residence Hall in the upcoming weeks. An email from university officials says mold was found in the building and they're moving them for the rest of the year so they can clean it.
WBIR 10 News anchor Daniel Sexton joins us now with more on what is next for the students who live there. Daniel.
Robin, Brandon, we are talking about 586 students. So finding them all a new place to live off campus in the next few weeks is a huge task, but campus officials say they have it covered.
I'm not from here. I don't have people who I can go to, so I have no idea what I'm going to end up doing.
As students pack up for fall break, an email went out to all 586 who live at Laurel Hall telling them they have to move.
My roommate was like, well, we're gonna have to move out. And I said, oh. Says who? It's like, check your email.
The email sent from the executive director of housing says there aren't any health risk to the students, but the mold in the building needs to be cleaned out, and the only way to do that is to move the students.
We plan to continue to keep students, particularly in Laurel Hall, updated to let them know once we've secured those locations and where they'll be reassigned.
Housing officials say inspections during the summer don't add up with what they found last week.
We had 3 different crews going through the rooms in Laurel Apartments this summer, and we saw no indication at that point that there was going to be any kind of a problem like this.
The university told students to contact university housing if they have any health concerns that the mold might make worse. But Dr. Bob Overholt says the biggest medical risk is likely allergy symptoms.
And those spores, very, very small. When we breathe them in, they can go down to the lungs and cause cough and wheeze and shortness of breath from an allergy. From a toxic standpoint, though, mold is most likely not going to be an issue.
The biggest issue then, where will these students go when they come back from fall break?
It's pretty frustrating right now, not gonna lie.
The university says a full air quality test is pending for Laurel Hall. South Carrick Hall is also getting treated for mold, but students won't have to move out of that dorm. Back to you.
All right, Daniel, thank you very much.